In the ancient days, when humanity began to spread across the face of the earth, a deep shadow fell over the world. The hearts of people turned away from goodness, and their thoughts were filled with darkness. Violence and corruption became the way of life, and the beautiful harmony between the Creator and his creation was shattered. The earth itself seemed to mourn under the weight of so much wrongdoing. Yet, in this dark age, there was a single point of light. One man, Noah, stood apart. He was described as a righteous man, blameless in his time, who walked faithfully with God. While the world around him descended into chaos, Noah listened to the voice of his Creator. It was to him that God revealed a plan, born not just of judgment, but of profound sorrow for what the world had become. God told Noah that he saw the corruption that had filled the earth, and that he intended to bring an end to it. A great flood would come to wash the world clean. But this was not just a story of destruction. It was also a story of salvation. God commanded Noah to build a massive vessel, an ark made of gopher wood, sealed with pitch inside and out. This ark would be a floating sanctuary, a beacon of hope in a world about to be overwhelmed by water. The instructions were specific. The ark was to have multiple decks and rooms, with a window for light near the top. Imagine the scene. Noah and his sons, working day after day, year after year, on this colossal structure. The task was enormous, a testament to unwavering faith. All around them, people mocked and jeered. They couldn't comprehend the idea of a flood of such magnitude. The sky was clear. The world seemed to be turning, as it always had. Yet, Noah never faltered. He trusted the promise he had been given, even when it seemed impossible. His hands shaped the wood, but his heart was anchored in faith. Finally, the great vessel was complete. Then came the next command from God. Noah was to bring his family, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives into the ark. But they would not be alone. In one of the most incredible processions ever witnessed, animals from every corner of the world began to arrive. They came in pairs, male and female, from the largest beasts to the smallest creatures. Birds of the air, animals of the field, and everything that creeps upon the ground gathered peacefully, guided by a divine hand, and entered the ark. Vast stores of food were brought aboard to sustain them through the long journey ahead. Once Noah, his family, and all the animals were safely inside, God himself sealed the door of the ark. For 7 days, they waited in silence. Then, the world outside began to change. The sky, once clear, turned a dark, ominous gray. The very foundations of the earth seemed to shake as the fountains of the great deep burst open, and water surged up from beneath the ground. At the same time, the windows of heaven opened, and rain began to fall. This was no ordinary storm. It rained relentlessly for 40 days and 40 nights. The water level rose steadily, swallowing the valleys, then the hills, and finally, even the highest mountains disappeared beneath the churning waves. Everything on the face of the earth, every person, every animal, every bird outside the ark was swept away. The world that had been so full of life and noise was now silent, covered by a vast, unending ocean. Only one vessel remained, floating on the surface of the water. The ark, inside, a remnant of life, protected and preserved, drifted on the global sea, carried not by currents or wind, but by the hand of God. For 150 days, the waters covered the earth. The ark, a tiny speck of wood on a boundless ocean, was the sole keeper of the future. It's hard to imagine what it must have been like inside the sounds of the animals, the creaking of the timber, the constant motion of the waves. It was a time of waiting, a time of complete dependence on the promise that had led them there. Then, just as he had promised, God remembered Noah and every living creature with him in the ark. He sent a wind to blow over the earth, and slowly, the waters began to recede. Day by day, the water level dropped. After many months, a sign of hope appeared. The peaks of the mountains emerged from the water. Eventually, the ark came to rest gently on the mountains of Ararat. Still, the world was not ready. Noah waited. After 40 days, he opened the window of the ark and sent out a raven. The raven flew back and forth, finding no place to land. Then, he sent out a dove. The dove returned, for the waters still covered the earth. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again. This time, he returned in the evening with a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. This was the sign Noah had been waiting for, a symbol of new life, a promise that the land was beginning to heal. He waited 1 more week and sent the dove out a final time. It did not return, for it had found a new home in a renewed world. Finally, after more than a year inside the ark, the earth was dry. God spoke to Noah once more, saying, "Go out from the ark, you and your wife, and your sons and their wives with you. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number on it. The great door was opened, and Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped out onto fresh, clean ground. The first thing Noah did was build an altar to the Lord. He offered a sacrifice of gratitude for their deliverance, a heartfelt act of worship. The Bible says that when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, he made a promise in his heart. He vowed never again to curse the ground because of humanity, and never again to destroy all living creatures with a flood. As a sign of this everlasting covenant, this unbreakable promise between God and all life on earth, he set a rainbow in the clouds. The rainbow became a beautiful, powerful symbol. It wasn't just a colorful arc in the sky, it was a divine message, a reminder that even after a great judgment, God's mercy and grace prevail. It's a sign of hope, a promise of new beginnings. From the obedience of one family, life was preserved. From unwavering faith, a future was born for all of humanity. The story of Noah and the flood echoes through the ages, a powerful testament that even in the darkest of times, faith is seen, obedience is rewarded, and God's promise of renewal and hope endures. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. We'll see you in the next video.